Hey there, church. Pastor Craig here once again with my midweek greeting. Happy Wednesday to each one of you. And I'm inside my house today because I want to introduce you to a member of our family. You've already met Amy on one of these videos, and our kids aren't here right now, but I thought I'd introduce you to our budgie, Jalapeno. When we got this bird, the plan was that it was our son's pet. And we wanted to get a pet for him, but we figured, a dog and a cat, they just become too much a part of the family. We just want an animal. That's all we want. Well, little did we know that a budgie can become part of your family. Budgies are known for a few things. They're pretty smart. Let's see. Can we do our tricks? Shake a claw. High five. Bop my thumb. Turn around. Turn around. Turn around again. Again. Give me a kiss. Yeah, give me a hug. Can I have a nice hug? Well, it's not the nicest hug, but I guess that'll have to do. I'm going to rub your belly. He hates this one, so I guess he's not going to cooperate. Budgies are also known for the way in which they're very personable. They're companion birds. They actually don't like to be alone. So we always have the radio on whenever we leave, so he thinks there's somebody else there. If I drive up the driveway, he is squawking before I even get out of the car, and he keeps squawking until I come and actually say hi to him. In the morning, if one of us gets up before the other, as soon as he hears the other person up, he squawks and squawks and squawks until you come and you say hi. But something else that budgies are known for is for the fact that they imitate. He imitates sounds. If you come over and spend any time with this bird, at some point you will all of a sudden think to yourself, did that bird just talk? It sounds like a radio. Well, the thing is, we always leave the radio on whenever we leave, so he thinks that there's somebody else with him. He now imitates the sounds of CBC radio. Our daughter has been able to pick out the various DJs from CBC radio as he imitates their voices. Friends of ours that bird sat once were convinced that they heard my voice and heard Amy's voice and our daughter's voice. But the interesting thing is that he's not really talking. Sure, he's picked up some words. He can say things like, "You okay?" One day I was really not feeling well. I was in a lot of pain and very tired. And I walked into our kitchen and I leaned on the table. And all of a sudden I heard a voice from over my shoulder. "You okay?" Turned around. I'm like, "Well, thanks, Birdie. No, I'm not." But all he's doing is he's imitating sounds that he's heard before. He's not really speaking. It's not like he knew that I was not doing well and honestly wanted to ask the question, "Are you okay?" He just makes the sounds that he's familiar with. But the idea of imitating reminds me of a verse in Ephesians chapter 5, which says, "Follow God's example, therefore, as dearly loved children, and walk in the way of love, just as Christ loved us and gave himself up for us as a fragrant offering and a sacrifice to God." That phrase, "follow God's example," it can actually be translated, imitate. Be imitators of God, therefore. The difference between us being imitators of God and my budgie, whose name, by the way, is Jalapeno, for those of you that are wondering. He more often gets called Birdie, but that is his official name. The difference between us imitating God and Jalapeno imitating the sounds that he hears is that Jalapeno doesn't have a clue what he's saying. In fact, he doesn't have a clue what I'm saying to him right now. He's just listening intently to my voice, and you never know. He may imitate some of those sounds. Parrot them back, if you will. Repeat them. But when God calls us to be imitators of God, he's referring to the work that we allow the Holy Spirit to do in our lives of transforming us to be more like him, to truly become like him, to act like him, not just to do things that look like him, but to truly respond in the ways that he would want us to respond, to speak in the ways that he would want us to speak. Our denomination in Canada, the Christian Missionary Alliance in Canada, has a vision prayer. O God, with all our hearts, we long for you. Come and transform us to be Christ-centered, Spirit-empowered, mission-focused people, multiplying disciples everywhere. What does it look like to allow God to transform you? Are you willing to let God transform you? Are you desiring to truly be an imitator of God? Or are you just being like my little budgie friend here and just going through the motions so that it looks like it's the right thing or saying the right thing? My hope and prayer is that each one of us will allow God to transform us, that we will follow God's example as dearly loved children, and that we will walk in the way of love just as Christ loved us and gave himself up for us as a fragrant offering and a sacrifice to God. I don't know what your day's holding, but whatever it is, may God be at the center of it, and may you allow God to work in and through the circumstance to draw you to be more like him. I just want to mention one thing for our church family here. I mentioned at the end of my sermon last week what text we were going to be looking at this coming week, and I wasn't thinking at all when I did that because I'm actually not preaching this coming Sunday. I mentioned our denomination, the Christian Missionary Alliance in Canada. Our district superintendent of the Canadian Midwest district that we are a part of is actually going to be sharing a message this Sunday, a message that he's prepared for all of the churches in our district. And so it'll be an opportunity for us to hear his heart and for God to use him to encourage us as a church and as churches in our denomination as we go through these challenging times. You might think, so what does Pastor Craig do then if he's not preaching? Well, actually, I'm going to worship lead this week. So I invite you to join us on Sunday as we'll be mixing things up a little bit, but I'm looking forward to a great time of worshiping together. And so I hope that you're able to make it to our live stream on Sunday at 10:30. Want to wish you a great day. May God's blessings be real to you. And I hope you have a great week. I look forward to worshiping together. And let's together be imitators of God. Have a great day.